Alright, so about a week has gone by since my last video. I am getting ready to start the charity build part 2, in which we're building something so that I could sell it and try to raise some money for a little girl who needs kidney surgery. So if you haven't seen the first one, please go check that out. Hopefully I'll get a lot done today, maybe even get it all the way done if I can. I'm going to push through and see how much I can get going. If we have to, we'll go on to a part 3, but I'm hoping to wrap this up, hoping that I can get it done, because the sooner I get this done, the sooner I can sell it, the sooner I can raise that money for that little girl. So, anyway, let's go. Okay, so first step I'd like to get to today is cutting away some of the excess off of this so that I can really get started on that design. It looks like I'm going to have to... I didn't count on that. It's a little bit shorter than I need, so I'm going to probably either skip that part, maybe make this whole thing a little smaller. Yeah, that's probably what I'll do. I'll just make this whole thing a little bit smaller, scale that down a little bit, which will be fine because in the long run, as I mentioned, this was a little heavy anyway, so I'll just cut that down, remove some excess, and scale that that pummel down to this size-ish. Okay, time for some eyeballing. Let's see. Looks like I'm going to want to knock those top corners off. And I can probably... I'm going to go ahead and do some markings with chalk so that I know where I'm going next. But I think I've got a plan. So the lighting's not great in here. Doesn't really need to be for us to get some welding done. Next step that I'm going to do while I'm waiting on that thing to cool down is I'm going to go ahead and weld this together here so that we can move on to the next step on the blade here in a little bit. So yeah. Also, it's been flooding like crazy, so I'm currently standing in a puddle of water to weld, and that should come with its own fun. Okay, so I went ahead and used an X-Acto knife and cut out this shape. And I'm going to use glue stick. Gotta get lots of glue on there. Don't want this to come up in any spot. Need to make sure when it sticks well. Okay, now placement's going to be kind of precise. Okay. So it's a little front heavy, which is exactly what I wanted. I wanted it to be blade heavy at this point because by the time I get this cut down and put on it, I want it to balance out pretty well. I'm building this primarily to be a work of art, a wall hanger, but I don't like to send off anything to anybody that that couldn't be used in a pinch. I want it to be a good, reliable blade, even if it is intended to be decorative. Okay, back to welding. Okay, so the plan was to fire up the forge, get it going nice and hot, get my blade up to temp, and then heat treat. And since my forge is outside, that's the availability for use is determined entirely by weather. Well, right now it still looks bright and sunny out on this video, I'm sure, but I can see up in the sky something rolling in, and there's something I've come to know from living here long enough. It's what the weather's about to do, and so looks like I'm gonna have to duck inside for a little while. Now the forecast says it's only going to be a couple hours, so I might end up getting to do more today. But if not, I'll pick this up when I can. Okay, I had to duck and cover for a little bit, but back out and we're ready to start working again. Surprisingly, some of the material that I've gathered to start my fire is wet. Having that said, it's a little bit difficult to get a fire started here. It looks like I got some actual flames going at this point, but I've been working on it for a few minutes. Once I get that going, I'm actually going to slowly start putting coal in there. The coal's kind of wet too, so I'm hoping that I can get a good enough fire going that it dries it out, heats it up, and then I can get that going. So, okay, I'm gonna have to be moving this blade around a bit because it looks like I'm getting some uneven heating, but it is already taken off, so this shouldn't be a long process. Alright, so my quench tank wasn't quite wide enough. I'll see if that's a problem here in a little bit when this cools down a little bit. But that was fun. It's always fun to experiment. Okay, I am drenched right now, and that is not from the rain. The heat coming off of my forge was so intense. That was crazy hot in here in the blacksmith shop. But anyway, it's time to move on to the next step. No need to stop now. Okay, now it's time to weld the hilt on. Okay, last little bit, I'm going to put on the skull, and that'll be the last little bit of assembly, and then the rest of it from there will just be detail work. So we're actually getting pretty close. I'm pretty excited. Okay, so it looks like we're going to end up making it a three-parter because I don't have time to jump on the next part of that just yet. I will be doing that as soon as I can, and I also need to gather a few things to be able to move on to the next stage. But the next stage is going to be largely detail work. We got done with most of the big stuff, and so in part 3, you can look forward to seeing me doing a lot more of the defining of the artwork on it rather than the big build. Also, I got to put an edge on it and everything like that. I keep looking over because it's right over here. Anyway, if you haven't seen the other one and you don't have time to go do that or whatever, then I'll just give you a quick overview of what we're doing here. I am building this sword so that I could sell it to raise money. 100%, any money that I make off of this, 100% is going to a little girl named Louise. She has a kidney infection that is bad enough that they have to go in for surgery, and if she doesn't get the surgery, then it could mean terrible consequences later in life. So we're trying to raise a little bit of money and see that girl get helped. And so anyway, so if you like the video, be sure and click that like button. Share this video around. That's an easy way to help out is sharing this, because sharing information will help accumulate the donations. I'm going to put the donation page in the description below, so be sure and check down there. And if you're interested in donating, be sure and click there and donate. As soon as I get this done, I'll put it up everywhere where I can to sell it. And like I said, 100% of it's going to go to helping her out. And yeah, I'm also going to put in the description below the link to Samantha Patterson's channel. It's her little girl that's getting the surgery, and so hop on over. She's been doing live streams, and it's been building her a little bit of a donation base for this, so that's pretty helpful. And that's all I got for you today. Thank you for watching. If you're new, then please hit that subscribe button and go check out some of the other videos on my channel. And that's all. That's all I got for you. All right.